The Democratic Republic of the Congo and the Rwanda-backed M23 Rebels have signed a new framework aimed at bringing peace to eastern DRC. Now, since the initial deal was signed in July, both sides have accused each other of breaching its terms, and fighting has continued. The Congolese government says it wants to create conditions for a real and measurable change as quickly as possible. The rebels, they stress that the deal isn't a final peace agreement, but a roadmap to reach one.
A crucial breakthrough to end the years-long conflict in eastern Congo. Rwandan-backed M23 Rebels and the government of the Democratic Republic of the Congo have signed a new peace framework. Qatar and the United States announced the deal as a roadmap to stop the deadly fighting and improve the dire humanitarian situation in the Central African nation. US President Donald Trump's envoy to Africa called on all parties to work on the implementation immediately.
It's being discussed and it's being negotiated. So we urge the parties, and we've been urging them for the last few days, including Secretary Rubio in his statement 2 or 3 days ago. We're urging them to accept this proposal and implement it immediately without delay.
M23 is one of the more than 100 armed groups active in the mineral-rich Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The Rwanda-backed M23 militia began to seize large areas of eastern DRC in 2021. The conflict has killed thousands of people and displaced millions more. The challenges remain enormous as the fighting escalates the risk of a full-scale regional war. Previous attempts to secure peace have failed. Now the latest deal in Doha marks a step towards a broader peace process.
All right, let's get more from Edith Kimani, DW's East Africa correspondent. Hello, Edith. So we know that signing a piece of paper is one thing. How exactly will this deal be implemented on the ground?
Well, the deal sets in place a motion to set up a body, and this body is what will oversee future peace deals, but also investigate any violations to those future peace deals. The body is going to be made up of representatives from Kinshasa, from the M23, and also 12 countries of what is called the International Conference of the Great Lakes region. This is both a geographical region as well as a political one. Now, the state of Qatar, the United States, and the African Union will also be participating, but merely as observers. When it comes to operational control, MONUSCO, who is the UN peacekeeping mission in the DRC, is expected to provide operational support.
Right. For a conflict that has been going on for so many years, what kind of real impact, Edith, could this have on the region?
Well, if implemented, peace and stability would be the primary impact. For the people living in the DRC, particularly those in eastern Congo, it would offer much relief. There would be less killings and a stop in hostilities. There's also about 6.9 million internally displaced people, according to the UN, and they could get a real chance to go home. And to just think about that scale, that's the average, that's a population of Madrid City, which is the biggest, the second largest metropolitan in the EU, and that's a number of people who are as yet displaced, and that could offer quite a bit of relief for them. Economically, it also means that this area, which is rich in things like coltan, tungsten, tin, and titanium, all critical minerals essential for the future technologies and defense, could get a boost in capital. But politically, Kinshasa is hoping that this deal will open the door to talks for them to regain control of eastern DRC, or at least partial control with M23.
Right. I'm just wondering how much optimism there is that this deal would actually hold, considering that this is not the first time a deal has been reached, right?
That's right. Well, looking at the track record, and we've just reported on that, there's not much optimism. The latest deal was signed in mid of this year. And by August, when the deadline had reached for them to reach a finalized agreement, both parties had not agreed to it. And in just October, another body similar to this one was instituted, which was meant to also oversee a peace deal. But that body never went very far because the two bodies just could not agree on implementation. Now, civil society groups in the DRC have often warned that that when these deals are brokered by external parties, they risk putting the DRC back into the cycle of extractionist policies and partnerships.
Right. And the rebels, they say that the deal isn't a final peace agreement, but a roadmap to peace. What's the next step?
Well, the next step is that once this body is set up, then in the next 7 days, it's expected to meet. Now, what makes this different is that they have set aside 8 key areas, which they say are the largest contributors to the conflict in the DRC. And when the parties have decided how to go about managing these areas, including security, mining, displacements, then and only then will they have an opportunity to sign the deal. But this is a deal between M23 and Kinshasa. Remember, as we have reported, that there are at least 100 armed groups who are fighting for control in eastern DRC, and they might not have the same objectives.
Right. Pleasure talking to you. Edith Kimani, thank you.